Hello and welcome to Our Tiny Woodland. I'm Rachel. I own a small woodland in South Lincolnshire, which I bought a couple of years ago. I manage the place with my partner Dan, who you'll see at some point. So we've started this YouTube channel. It stems from Instagram actually, and we started that a couple of years ago, I think, just so that family and friends could see what we're up to when we disappear off into the woods with loads of kit and things like that, to do forestry work mainly and looking after the woodland. So we just wanted to sort of explain what we were doing with our spare time, because it's not a very common thing to do, not a very common hobby certainly. So what we've decided is to start making videos to reach out to more of our followers that we've amassed on Instagram, and explain some of the things that we do in a bit more of a long form format. So, bit of background. I, because it is actually just mine, I own it. I wanted it to be female ownership for lots of reasons, which I'm sure I'll go into on another video. I own it with my partner Dan. He helps me with everything and he's fully on board. It was a joint dream that we had. I would say that we have wanted to do this for as long as we've both been alive. We've both been nature and woodland lovers. And when we met, we realised that we'd found kindred spirits in ourselves, and we both enjoyed wild camping. We discovered glamping before it was cool. We both love the outdoors. We had an allotment previous to this. We do a lot of gardening. We have chickens. We like to try and be a bit self-sufficient, a bit preppery. So anyway, I would say probably well over a decade ago, I accidentally discovered that you could actually buy woodland. I just, naively thought it belonged to the council, or it belonged to the National Trust, or it didn't belong to anybody. I didn't really understand it. And I came across the well-known woodland sales sites, of which I'm sure you're familiar, because if you're watching this, I'm guessing that you're interested in owning woodland. So we started dreaming. Didn't seem like something that was really realistic or wise, not a wise use of money maybe. But the older we got, the more we realised you've just got to live life. It's not all about all of that. And then we decided to start looking very, very earnestly, because we'd made the decision we were going to do it. So we started a period of time of looking. I would say it was a couple of years. The thing about woodland ownership and searching for the right woodland is there are a list of wants and needs, and they're as individual as the person. But things like access, whether it's level ground, whether you want somewhere more hilly, does it have a meadow, does it have public rights of way, all of which I will cover in another video, the sort of things that we looked into and we knew we wanted to avoid or that we wanted to have. We were also very, very keen to manage it with hand tools as much as possible. The reason for that is because we didn't want to contaminate the place with either fuel or noise, but we also wanted to get fit or get fitter, and generally enjoy working outside, which is what we do enjoy. So, there was lots of things that we looked for, and we looked for what felt like an age. And every time we found somewhere that we thought, yeah, this is the one, we'd go, and it just wouldn't feel right. Or it wouldn't tick all the boxes, or it would tick some of the boxes. And then eventually we came across this tiny woodland. We had been looking at a larger plot. We wanted something that, we could manage, obviously small enough to manage, but large enough to give us that sense of solitude and privacy as well. We came across this little place, and the first time we visited, it was in the dead of winter, because that's often the best time to look at a woodland, when she's not looking as glamorous as she is at this time of year, to really see the bare bones of the trees, the ground, the layout. We visited and we walked away heavy-hearted because we thought this is not the place for us. And then we went home, talked about it into the early hours. Something was niggling in me, something was niggling in Dan, and we finally realised we'd actually found the perfect woodland. The beauty of it is that, for us anyway, is that it was planted, I think, 22 years ago, so it's young. And what that means is the trees are relatively small size, pole stage, most of them, and even the larger ones we have actually felled some by hand with a silky saw. Whether that's the right saw to use, I don't know, but we did. So we found that we can, you know, really hands-on manage it ourselves because it is young. But the other beauty of that is that we are taking on something in its early stages that we can really have a positive impact on. At the moment, the trees are still very much in the straight lines that they were planted in, 2.1 metres by 2.1 metres. It is British native, apart from a few stray poplars, which I'll cover in another video. So it gives us the chance to hopefully manage it in the best possible way from its early years, not allow it to be neglected at this vital point in its life. So a lot of the work that we've been doing has been thinning out the trees to let more light down to the woodland floor, thinning out the stragglers, letting the stronger trees thrive. But we're in the early days. We have got hazel coppice, so we've been coppicing as well. We're very, very focused on wildlife and conservation. We're not looking to make money from timber, although we possibly will in the future. There are some of the management techniques that we're doing that I'll talk about at a later date that will hopefully bring an income, but probably not until we have grandchildren. We're talking about that kind of length of time. So, you know, thinning the trees, you thin them out, you allow flight paths for owls to sort of hunt. The coppicing, loved by dormice. Dormice obviously really endangered. We don't have any in this woodland. However, dormice very rarely get on the ground. They don't touch the ground. They will climb through the trees, and they won't go to the ground because obviously they're avoiding the owls that are coming in and other predators. So the tangled mass of regrowth of hazel, especially when it's younger regrowth, is ideal for them because they've just got this maze, this climbing frame to be able to move from area to area, which then means that they can feed from area to area. So that's just a couple of the types of wildlife that we're looking to support. I will be very honest with you from the very beginning, we do pest control. Anybody in forestry will understand if you're looking to maximise native wildlife, support native trees, you are going to be looking at doing some pest control on the non-native species. Again, I will cover that in another video. So we've been looking after this place for over 2 years now, which has gone really quickly. We come here as often as we can. It's a 50-minute drive from home, and which is great. You know, it means that we can just come for half a day if we want to, or we can come for a few days if we want to. We do stay on site. We have a camper for that, which is also used as a hide for our pest controller, and we use it to shelter from the rain if we're here and it gets especially wet and we want to wait for the rain to pass. We do most of our work in winter as well, so the felling and everything, just to avoid nesting season completely. So we do need a shelter to be able to sit and eat our sandwiches in and that sort of thing. So it's a forestry shelter. And we do only use it for those purposes because we don't ever come here and sit and do nothing. As I'm talking, Dan is over in another part of the woodland. He's taken off tree guards because we're still doing that. Tree guards were all in place when we bought it, and obviously it was 20 years old at that stage, so they needed to come off. So he's over there gathering tree guards, and once I've done this video, I'm going to set about some woodland tasks as well. So anyway, I will leave it there for now. Hope you've enjoyed the video, giving you a little bit of background. I'll probably repeat myself in future videos and go over the same stuff, but welcome to Our Tiny Woodland. Please subscribe, Please give us a follow on Instagram. We love welcoming new people, and you can look at the history, you can look all the way back over the 2 years, the things that we've been doing and how we've progressed. And long may it continue.